Buenos dias, amigos. I've made it to Cusco, a city which lies at an altitude of just under 4,000 meters. And as such, I just arrived yesterday night. I am still adapting to the height, to the altitude, and I've got a bit of struggle breathing here. I can tell you this, it'll be tough speaking to the camera today and walking a lot. But yeah, made it to a city which has been on my bucket list for a very long time, a city which you cannot miss out on when you come to Peru, one of the most important cities of the history of Peru and South America, the capital of the huge, massive Inca Empire. This city has been the capital of the Inca Empire for over 300 years, before the Europeans, the Spanish conquistadors, came and ripped it up. Cusco is one of the most authentic places you could visit in South America, and also obviously one of the most touristic ones, but for a reason. I can tell you one thing, I've been walking now for 2 minutes and I'm already out of breath. I've got to stay hydrated here. And of course, something which helps to adapt to the altitude problems, to the breathing problems, is Coca Leaves, which are illegal in most parts of the world, but here in Peru and also in Bolivia, they are not only legal, but they're a huge part, an essential part of people's lives here. Back in my hostel, up in my hostel, I can even get as much Coca Leaves tea for free and as many Coca Leaves to chew as I want. That shows how essential Coca Leaves are here in this part of the world, in the Andean highlands. It was in this exact square, the Plaza de Armas of Cusco, that Inca leader, the last Incan rebel, Tupac Amaru, was murdered brutally, along with his wife, eldest son, uncle and brother-in-law, by Spanish conquistador Francisco Pizarro, in one of the most brutal ways possible. First, he had to watch his wife, his uncle and his son being killed in front of his eyes by the Spanish, and then his body was quartered before being beheaded in this square. It's probably the most significant square of South American history, and Peruvian history, of course, especially. And of course, it's always filled with tourists. This cathedral there, by the way, guys, this massive colonial cathedral, was built on top of the Incan Temple of the Sun by the Spanish. No, gracias, no necesito. Yeah, I kind of don't like these places. On the other hand, I can understand it, because people here, what you've got to know, this is not Lima. This is not Lima, this is another world, another part of Peru. People here are super poor in this region of Peru, and of course, as this is the most popular place to visit in Peru from tourists all over the world, apparently like 2 million people are visiting Cusco each year from all over the world. And the city is obviously full of hotels, hostels and everything, fancy restaurants, and of course poor people. And the poor people that live here have to take advantage of all the tourists that come here in masses every year. So from that perspective, I can understand it. I can understand people that want to scam tourists here. Gracias. No, gracias, no necesito. Voy a hacer traffic mañana. Más tarde, sí. You can't be here You can't be left alone here for 2 minutes before being arrested again by some scammer. But yeah, on the other hand, I can understand these people. I would be exactly the same if I was living here in Cusco and saw tons of tourists, masses of tourists every day of the year from all over the world. But yes, check it out, guys. Plaza de Armas. Many colonial squares in Latin America, not only South America, obviously look very similar. No gracias, no ahorita. Gracias, amigo. And yeah, many colonial squares all over Latin America obviously look very similar. I mean, it was always the Spanish that built them. But this one is the most significant one. It is where the biggest empire, the biggest indigenous empire that existed before the Europeans arrived in this continent and murdered millions of people, that ever existed, has been destroyed forever. The city has also been the one that stood up the most and offered the most resistance against the Spanish conquistadores. But check it out, guys. The beautiful scenery surrounding Cusco. The Andean highlands. I'm liking it. Even though it is super touristy and filled with scammers. Even though it is filled with scammers and you cannot be left alone for more than 2 minutes, I still like it more than Lima so far. And I've only been here for like 12 hours. I've literally arrived last night. And yeah, I like it. ¿Qué? No, gracias. No necesito ahorita. Tal vez mañana, señorita. Tal vez mañana, señorita. Gracias. Ahorita no necesito, pero tal vez mañana, tal vez más tarde.
Mira, choca, 40 soles.
No, no, gracias, gracias. Tal vez más tarde, señorita. Suerte. You obviously feel bad for all these people as well when turning them away, but I don't need a flipping hat now for 40 soles, which is about €10 by the way. This is what I've said in my first video back in Lima, that Peru is a country which is characterized by a huge difference between the people that live in Lima and on the coast and the people that live here in the Andes, in the more rural areas. The same goes for the poorest area of Peru, which is back in the Amazon rainforest in the north. But yes, wow guys, I've just stumbled upon something really, really interesting. Something which I haven't seen in my life with my own eyes yet. Is this an... Hola? It is an alpaca farm, guys. Check it out. The alpacas have obviously been the animals of the Incas back in the times of the Incan Empire, because horses didn't exist here. So horses only came to South America, to this continent, when the Spanish arrived, which was one of the reasons why the Spanish were so successful in their conquest of Latin America upon their arrival, because the Incans, the Mayans, back up in Mexico, the Aztecs, they were all scared of the Spanish when they arrived, because they had never seen these beasts before, the horses. These tall, white creatures riding on these tall, massive beasts. So yeah, when you see horses in Latin America, remember that they were brought here by the Spanish, because before that only these guys existed here. Check it out. I've never ever seen any of these animals. Allah. ¿Cómo se llama él?
Él se llama Huayra.
Huayra.
Sí.
En mucho gusto, Huayra.
Sí.
Me llamo yo.
Saluda, saluda.
¿Puedo tocar?
Sí.
Oh, super woolly.
Sí.
Devo hacer una foto.
Eres Cheska.
Cheska, mucho
Sí.
gusto. Wow, that was exciting, my friends, isn't it? Beautiful animals, lovely animals. Animals which you don't see back in Europe. I never ever saw these animals before, and probably I've got some good thumbnails now for the video with these two alpacas. Unfortunately, I already forgot their names, but yeah. Well, I've got to tell you one thing, guys. Even though it is super touristy here, full of, I wouldn't say super touristy, but full of tourist scammers, it is super authentic, and I like it so far. I think this might be the most authentic place, the most interesting place I've visited in Latin America. But yeah, on the dark side though, on the downside, loads of scammers, and I hate that. I hate that. Last year, or technically at the beginning of this year, at times of recording this, I was in Cartagena, Colombia, and I didn't like it. In Colombia, I was in Medellin and Cartagena, and I absolutely loved Medellin. I loved Medellin, but I didn't like Cartagena. And most people love Cartagena, most tourists. And I'll tell you why I didn't like Cartagena, because it was just a tourist trap, full of tourist scammers, full of prostitutes, full of drug dealers, and yeah, I don't like these places. Also here at night, by the way, everyone wants to sell you drugs. Yeah, it is like a tourist hub. It is Peru's biggest tourist hub, but for a reason. For a reason. It's also Peru and probably South America's, one of South America's most significant cities. I'll probably go for some food later on in one of these small restaurants, these small kitchens, because back down in the center we were just now, it's full of tourist scam restaurants. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to go to an expensive scam restaurant. I don't want to support that. I want to support these people here, it's far more local. Because I'm already starting to get a bit hungry, because as you know, I only had my hostel breakfast this morning, which is alright, but not fulfilling. It only consisted of some muesli, some cereals and a yogurt, and some fruits, some melon, not that special, and the Coca Leaf tea, which is pretty good, by the way. Check this place out. Where are we here? Where have we landed? Where have we landed? What I really like about this city is the cobblestone streets. Check this out. Viva el Peru. Carved into the mountains. This, by the way, guys, is Coricancha, the site of Coricancha, which is an ancient Incan temple, the remains, I should say, of an ancient Incan temple turned into a museum. Which is why there are so many hordes of tourists around here, obviously. But yeah, it is a massive Inca temple, a massive ancient Inca temple, which was covered in gold once, which has been stolen by the Spanish, obviously. And the traffic here in Cusco seems to be as horrible as back up in Lima. Seems to be a Peruvian problem, the traffic here. They cannot drive. Yesterday, I told you that I nearly missed my flight due to the traffic. I had to run back at the airport. Never was in that situation before. And wherever you are in Peru, whichever street you are in, whichever major crossing, you've got these policemen controlling the traffic. Like, it's incredible. In Europe, you won't find these anymore. This job has actually died for, I don't know, 50 years? But here in Peru they really need them. And I have to tell you guys that I had some mixed emotions about coming to Cusco. Because on the one hand, it is obviously super touristy and I don't like these places. I came here mainly for one reason, for the reason that most tourists come here to see Machu Picchu. But also, the city is of huge historical significance to Peru and South America. And I have to tell you one thing, I am positively surprised by the city, because it's super authentic. It feels completely different to Lima. It's a different world. Wow, and here we've got some delicious looking food. Shall we go for some food already? I might do so actually. We got everything here. And as always guys, when you travel, you have to walk. You have to walk before you get some food. Check out the old school buses, by the way. This is also so typically Peruvian. These old school buses. I thought the Argentine buses were old school, but no, this is old school. Hola, tal, bueno. Viva Peru, viva Cusco. Let's check out a market here. Let's check out the market. Vamos! Check it out guys, those are the real streets of Cusco. The local streets of Cusco with all the local street vendors selling all kinds of vegetables, fruits, meat, as you can see here. And I've just asked a street vendor lady, an old abuelita, for some coca leaves, just to show you guys some coca leaves. And she said to me that I had to go to the market, and the market is at the end of the street apparently. So let's go, let's check it out. This side of Cusco, guys, it's a real hustle. Real hustle and bustle, check it out. I don't know how many street vendors are here. Literally every 2 meters you've got street vendors. It's a real hustle this side of Cusco. But I've got a feeling that not too many tourists that come to Cusco visit actually this side of Cusco, the other side of the center. And thus, I suppose, not too many people visit the market, which we are about to enter. The market should be over here. Por favor, el mercado es por allá? Eso es el mercado. Gracias, señora. So as you can see guys, we've arrived in the biggest local market here of Cusco. Check it out. We're about to enter. Oh wow. Hands down, this is hands down the most authentic place I visited in Latin America. I didn't expect it from Cusco. I'm really stunned. I'm flabbergasted. Maybe we can even get some food here. Could be like back in Lima, that it is so much cheaper here. Sopas, segundos. Oh yeah, this place is full of small stalls where people are eating. Check it out. I think I'll have some food here. And yeah, I'm about to have a chicken meal, chicken with rice and platacones and the salad. Sounds delicious. For a whopping €2.50. $2.50, €2.50. So under $3 I guess that is. 10 soles. That's even cheaper than in the market we were together in Lima. So guys, when you come to Cusco, which you will when you come to Peru, come to this market. Lovely. Come to stall number 856. Let's hope the food is alright though. Well, I guess it is. I guess it is. Because if I look around me, only locals are here. No gringos. And that's always a good sign. Alright guys, check out my delicious €2.50 meal here at the market in Cusco. Check it out. We've got a chicken breast, which looks alright. Let's hope it's not red. And then we've got platacones, check it out. This reminds me of Colombia. In Colombia they really like to eat this. It is like fried banana, fried plantain, not banana, plantain. And yeah, it's been a long time since I had this, so I'll tug into that first. I'll judge the whole meal on that. Delicious. Not as good, I have to say, as the ones in Colombia, but then again that's not a specialty here in Peru. It's really good. I mean, for €2.5, that plate of food, can't complain, can I? So I'm now going to destroy that plate of food, and then I'll see you after that. Provecho. I've finished my meal, and like back in Lima, I'm pretty filled now, I'm pretty stuffed. And yeah, once again we've proven that it's worth going the distance when you travel, wherever you are in the world. When you go to the more local places, you get your food for a third of the price, which you get it a few blocks further into the center. Just a few blocks away from here, I am sure that that meal I've just had, that absolutely filling meal I've just had, would have cost me like 20 or even 30 soles. Here it costs like 10 soles. Wow. There ain't a place in Europe where you can eat as much as that for €2.5. Simply doesn't exist. Interesting place. I know where to come for my food from now on. Here in Cusco. Check it out, this market is absolutely massive. Pero Perú es muy chévere, me gusta. Muy chévere.
Más rico en todo el mundo, más rico el país, más rico, el país más rico del mundo.
Sí, sí.
Pero si no, nos roban.
Sí.
Roban, todo el mundo roba al Perú.
Sí.
Roban Alemania, todo, Francia, China, peor ahora.
Sí, sí.
Estados Unidos, peor, están robando. Todos nos roban. No nos dejan hacer nada a nosotros.
Sí.
Así.
Es como con Tupac Amaru. Con Tupac Amaru.
Si hubiera ganado Tupac Amaru, ahorita estaríamos en alto.
Right, because I've bought some coca at the market.
Hemos tenido la participación de la Policía Nacional a través de la Secretaría de la Familia, el Colisec, Guacha, así como también los programas nacionales de centros juveniles. Le agradezco.
I'm just randomly doing coca on the bench in Cusco, in Peru, with an old legend. I've never done coke in my life, and now I'm doing it with this old legend beside me. Never thought I'd get to this point. I bought myself this, check it out. 2 bags of coca leaves for 6 soles, which is about €1.50. I mean, you don't get that in Europe, do you? But then again, that shows how important coca, the plant, is here for the people, how essential it is. Everyone does it here. Well, I was speaking of the chewing. You can obviously also drink tea, but tea has more of a relaxing effect. You just want to go to sleep. Tea is better before you go to sleep. Well, it helps against the breathing problems, I've got to say. Let's have some more. I'm going to show you how you do this. Here it is. You want to put this in your mouth. To the side. There. And just chew it. Don't eat it, just chew it, guys. That's super important. ¿Cómo es, bro? Alright guys, I think this is the end of the video. I'm feeling a bit hyped up from the coca leaves, And yeah, I'm pretty happy that I bought these because they are clearly helping out. Voilà, buenas. Buenas, Luxemburgo, Europa. Sí. Sí, exacto, tú conoces. Ya sabes. The first person in Peru that knows what Luxembourg is, by the way. And yeah, where was I? Yeah, I'm pretty happy that I bought these 2 Coca Leaf bags, because they are clearly helping. Let me tell you a secret, I never ever did cocaine in my life. Never ever. Believe it or not. Never ever. And obviously these Coca Leaves, chewing these Coca Leaves doesn't have the same effect as the snow, you know? But you feel kind of hyped up. I've already had Coca Leaves tea, and Coca Leaves tea, you don't really feel anything. It just helps against the altitudes, against the breathing problems. But this hypes you up and helps. How many seconds do you think it takes for the next scammer to come and try to sell me something? No, it's alright, thank you, man. Thank you. No. Tomorrow I go hiking, so where it is. Santiago, I remember you. Joe. Yes, I'll see you around. No, gracias, señorita. You see, that was 2 persons in the space of half a minute, right? So yeah, that is one thing I don't like about Cusco that much. Guys, before ending the video here at Plaza de Armas, where I'm back now, guys, I've got to share with you this legendary moment that just occurred. This life-changing moment. I just got recognized. I got recognized by a Peruvian girl, which is now standing over there. And she saw me filming in Lima. And back in Lima, she already asked me about if I had a YouTube channel and stuff, and I gave her my channel. And now I've bumped into her here in Lima. Absolutely mad. The world is so small. Maybe Peru isn't that much of a big country. It actually is. These things happen like once in a million times. But yeah, guys, I got recognized. Things are going well. I reckon this is a good sign for the channel. Where shall we head after Cusco? I'm still here for a few days, obviously. I'll surely definitely make another video here or around here. But I'm not yet sure where I'm going to be heading after Cusco. Am I going to stay in the Andes? Am I going to head to another city in the Andes? A more untouched, let's say, city in the Andes? Or shall I go to another region of Peru? Shall I go to the jungle? Who knows? Anyway, guys, I'll see you in the next one. Cheers from Cusco, the capital of the Incas.